This is kind of scary lighting, but hi, welcome back to the channel. It's week 18 and I've already had a whole week. It's early Saturday morning and it's 20 miles. Oh my goodness. Hello, this is Amy from the future. Before I share the footage from the 20-mile run, I just wanted to put a little disclaimer. There's not that much of it for it being, what was just under a 4-hour run. It was hard, and I just kind of needed to not worry about, talking to this. I did take some, and you'll see that here in a minute, but I just wanted to apologize or explain that there really wasn't that much. But I did want to share what I did get and my thoughts on what is now my longest run to date. So we'll share that and we'll get to our MEB lesson afterward. Alright, welcome to over 5 miles in. It is really cold, but the sky's really pretty, and I've got 2 friends with me. Very excited that I don't have to be out here for myself for a little bit. So, feeling okay. Already took my first fuel. It is cold, but I think it's working in my favor. Alright, gotta run. Alright, this is our 10-mile check-in. My run buddy Emily's eating her sandwich. And Brandy was only gonna do 10, so she is heading on. I'm gonna turn this around. Whoop. Turn around so you can see me. Apparently I had ice. Do I still have ice in my beanie? I have ice in my beanie. So that gives you an idea how cold it was. It doesn't feel that cold right now. But we're gonna walk for a little bit so we can eat her sandwich, let it settle. And I feel okay right now. I have pain, but it's tolerable at this point. So I feel okay about having to go another 10 miles. So yeah, we're halfway there. Whew, okay. 15-mile, it's really bright, I'm sorry. It's 15-mile check-in. Actually, I have 15.15, so we're officially into farther than I've gone at one time before. So yay for that. Still intolerable pain. But Emily's sticking with me. Because she's great. Are you in the shot? I can't even tell. I don't know. You're doing great. So she planned it. I guess you planned it so that from here we're heading back to the car to get the 20. Is that kind of what you were saying? Okay. So. Yay! All right. I'll give you some scenery. We'll get going here. We're on a weird back road, so it's not super scenic. But there are the mountains. 10:39. Probably, yeah. All right, 10:39. I did the thing. Woo-hoo. Here's my watch. Oh, it went away. Hopefully it's saved. Hey, yay, Amy! And I was wearing a super cute outfit, but no one saw it because it was too cold. But I took it off for my picture. So.
Amy, show them what my reward is.
Yes, and this is our reward. 1, 2, 3. Flip it around. We went to Costco and somehow ended up with the gazillion pastries, so I brought some to share with my friends. I'm really excited. I'm hungry. So I think we might go see if we can get in the hot tub. Yes. And I'll catch up with you with our MEB lesson when I can think straight again. So as you saw, I got it done, and it's currently Sunday now, and we're
20 some odd, maybe getting close to 30 hours out from the finish of that run. And if you hear gunshots, it's because I'm assuming someone's skeet shooting, so don't freak out. But actually, I feel fine. Like I told my husband this morning when I got up, I was like, I could go for a jog if that was something I actually wanted to do, which it wasn't. I'm not sore. I feel my normal amount of tired for any given Sunday, you know, and it's, I'm sitting outside actually under our pool deck umbrella only because it's sprinkling and I don't want my Osmo Pocket to get wet. But it's actually kind of a dreary day, which always makes me feel a little bit more tired. But yeah, and the only thing that's bothering me is that spot on my left foot that the foot doctor said is just a little arthritic. And that's easy, very easy to manage. So I feel really good about the fact that I feel so good right now after running. Now, I did not feel good yesterday afternoon, and I didn't really feel bad. You know, I felt like I ran 20 miles. My legs were very tired. I was walking a little bit funny. Muscles were like, what just happened? But sitting here today, I feel really good about how I feel now. And that, you know, I did exactly what I was supposed to do. I did the 8.5 and then I did the 20. And I feel ready for Goofy now. And like my running buddy Emily has told me, and that I completely agree with, that the training for this is way harder than the actual event. I told her, I was like, training actually feels kind of annoying to me right now because I feel like I could go do Goofy and I'd be fine, you know, because I'm not going to be going nearly as fast as I was yesterday during the marathon because I'll be stopping for characters and stuff. And I'll be taking it much easier than I was yesterday. So the fact that I still have 2 more really long runs, it just really feels annoying to me at this point, which is, it's weird to say that, but I'll get to those weekends and I'll get those runs done. And before I know it, I'll be at Disney and I'll get to celebrate all that I've accomplished up to this point. So I'm going to stop rambling now. We'll get to our MEB lesson because I have a little bit to go along with it that just kind of was put on my heart today. But we're on marathon number 17 because this is week 18. It was the 2012 London Olympics, the Olympic marathon in August, and he actually placed 4th. But it was an interesting road to get there, and just like in weeks past, I won't share the whole story, but he came from really far behind, let's say, and was able to place 4th. And the lesson is, go into races and other important situations with a series of goals that will keep motivating you to do your best. And I loved it because I've already heard this several times from several other sources that I do respect, Runners Without Limits and other podcasts, where they talk about setting more than just one goal for a race. You know, your A goal, B goal, C goal, and however many goals that you want to come up with for that particular thing. Not even just running, but you can be anything. But, you know, in this case, we're talking about running. And he had to do that for this race. And because he was able to, and I'll talk about this word in a minute, but reframe and refocus what he was doing, he came from behind and placed 4th. And I will share what he says at the very, very end. I didn't win a medal that day, but I learned so much. I dug deeper than ever for a solid finish. Many veterans of the sport have told me it was a bigger accomplishment than my silver medal. I learned to never give up on a race, no matter how challenging it gets. Think about the others involved in your running, like I thought about the importance of representing my family, community, and country. You'll get a new perspective. That 4th place finish reopened the door to the Boston Marathon and left me optimistic for the future. And you know, in the middle of the chapter, you know, he talks about like if his only goal for that race would have been to win or to even medal, and he fell so far behind, there was a moment where he thought about just dropping out. Because that A goal was gone. But because he had those B and C and other things that he could refocus on, he was able to keep going, and he finished very well, and he felt very confident in it. And he was 37 at the time, so with his age and with the field, he felt really good about that finish. And it made me think about the Cocoa Beach Marathon that I just did. You know, and even the 5K. I had a series of goals, but even for the Cocoa Beach Half Marathon, my goals, quickly went, well, there goes A, there goes B, and it became that my goal was to finish this half marathon, which I was capable of doing. It wasn't comfortable, but I wasn't gonna stop, because that would not have been okay with me. We've seen how not finishing works for me, so that's never an option. But my proof of time goal went away, personal best goal went away, so it just became, well, and actually there was another goal I wanted to finish under 2:30. That went away. I was close, but I didn't realize how close I was to the finish line, or else I may have been able to kick it up just a little bit more and gotten under 2:30, but I was just over it. But the goal was to finish my first half marathon race that wasn't Disney, and I did it, and it was an experience. And I know that if I ever, I love Florida and I love the beach, so if I ever go run that race again, it won't be for any sort of time goal. It'll just be to have, maybe I'll bring a friend with me, because doing it by myself was pretty bad. And I told my run buddy that yesterday. It's like, I missed you, and I missed having someone on a longer run to talk to, because it certainly helps. But with his topic this week, it actually went along well with what I kind of gathered from our church service this morning. About having those goals and being able to refocus. A word that has come up several times each week for me is to reframe, and especially when these long runs get longer, is learning to reframe how I'm feeling in the moment. Like when we did the 15-mile run, there was a point where we got to the 8-mile mark, and I said, once my watch, beeped that we got to 8 miles, I said out loud to my friends, I said, we've now done more than we have left. And my friend Emily was like, that's a really cool way to think about it. I've completed more than I have left. And so I think, and I've thought about that on different runs when I have a certain distance I'm trying to get to, that at a certain point, I'm well over halfway done. Especially when I get to like the 5K mark or the 3-mile, 2-mile, I'm like, that's nothing. That's like down my street and back. I can finish this up. And I thought about that yesterday during 20 miles. When we got to the 18-mile, I was like, 2 miles. I don't really care how bad my legs hurt right now. I can do that. 2 miles is doable, even with how tired my legs were feeling. Because it's all about the reframe. And then the other word I wrote down on my paper this morning at church was perspective, because that's one of the things our preacher was talking about, was our perspective versus God's perspective. And that's, for some reason, that I just like, this is what I need to share in my video this week, was how this particular aspect of running is so applicable to life. I think there's a million things when it comes to those of us that run and do this journey, especially for these big goals like a marathon or an ultra marathon or things like that. It's really not a coincidence that so much of it is a parallel, and we can apply it to our life. And Meb says it all the time in his book, how all of this isn't just running related, this is life related. But I wrote on my paper, life will be harder than a long run. Like that 20 miles yesterday, that was hard. But there are so many other things that are going to happen in my life that are going to be harder than that I'll have to deal with. But we can use those same techniques that we use to get through this stuff, that we can use that in real life. The example being, change your perspective. Like when I'm on a treadmill is so boring. But what I choose to think about is running form, or how great my legs feel. I don't feel tired, I don't feel out of breath, or even outside on a run. I think about the things that are going well instead of, that place in my foot that is pretty much constantly hurting at this point. Even if it's just a little bit, just ignore that. It's not anything serious. I can deal with it when I'm done, but think about what's going good. And that was what he was sharing this morning, and the verse that he shared is one of my favorites. It is Isaiah 55, verses 8 and 9. This is, God talking to us. For my thoughts are not your thoughts, neither are your ways my ways, declares the Lord. As the heavens are higher than the earth, so are my ways higher than your ways, and my thoughts higher than your thoughts. It always makes me think about how we'll go through hard times, and I've had hard times, and there's people that have had harder times than me, and there's a moment where I was like, we do not understand why God is doing this, and we're never gonna understand why God allows things to happen or does certain things, and I've heard it said several times that I wouldn't want a God that I understand, because that puts him on the same level as me. I don't want that. I want a God that is almighty and holy, and that's what he is. And like the verse in Romans, that all things will work for his good, and his good and his purpose is for us to be good, you know. And it's when you're in the midst of it, it's hard to think of that. When you're in the middle of a 20-mile run, you're like, even before I started the run, I got out of my car and told my run buddy, why am I training for a marathon again? I don't want to do this. And she's like, you got this, you can do it. And it helps to remember that Disney goal. And you can use that in life too. There's so much more than just where we're currently sitting. And it's easy for me to say that right now, of course. I understand, because life's okay right now. I'm not in the midst of anything really hard, and some of you guys might be. But really take it as encouragement that there is a massively bigger picture that we really won't see the whole of it until we're on the other side of heaven, you know? The big tapestry. I like it said like that there's a big tapestry, and we're just a string in it. And the other note that I wrote from this morning was where our strength and where our peace comes from. And like when it comes to running, you know, I did that 20-mile run, so I now have that experience under my belt. So when I go for 23 in a couple of weeks, it's just 3 miles more. Yeah, I'm going to remember probably how bad 20 miles hurt. And it's, you know, it's still going to hurt a little bit when I go for 23, but I know I did that 20, and this is just another little less than a 5K. So that past experience of, you know, accomplishing that is going to help in the future. And in life, it works the exact same way. We can draw on our past experience and where God has gotten us through something hard, and know that he can do it again, and he will do it again. And that's where my strength and peace comes from, you know, when things get difficult. So for whatever reason, Meb's lesson, and then this morning I felt led to share that. And I by no means do any of this perfectly. I've said it before, I'll say it again. I am the worst worrier, and I do have anxiety that I deal with sometimes. And I fall short quite often when it comes to relying on the person I'm supposed to rely on, which is God. So a lot of this will be for me to go back, use this as past experience to go back and be like, I really need to remember what I'm saying, because I need to practice it too. But so I hope everyone's training's going well. I know my 20 miles was a week early because I got cross-country stuff with the kids next weekend. So use this as a motivator, maybe, that I did it, and if I can do it, for sure you can do it too. So I hope everyone who is training for, I don't know if Marathon has the 20 this week, but I know Goofy and Dopey have that 20 in this next coming week, so get it done. It's going to be good. I hope weather's been great. We got beautiful fall weather here, and that it's cooling off where you are, because this cooler temperatures definitely help. Be sure to give this video a like. Give me a comment. If you've ever trained for something like this before, now, how your past experience is helping you in your training now, because I'm sure it has to, knowing that you've accomplished this before, and we're just doing it again because we are crazy people that love to run. And be sure to subscribe. I might share a little bit of the fun cross-country within, protecting personal limits, but we got lots of traveling. It's going to be fun to watch my kids meet their goals too. Always remember that you are God's masterpiece, and I will see you next week for a slightly lower mileage week. It's going to be nice. Bye.